bestseller is not the finish line. It's just day one. Let's not just start. Let's finish and let's do it strong. Hi, my name's Steve Kidd. I'm a third generation minister, international best-selling author of now 41 books and counting. I've had the amazingly wonderful privilege of working with over 5,000 authors, helping them write, publish, market their books to bestseller, and everything that goes beyond that. And what I'm really here to do is to help you architect your visibility for you to really know not just what, but how and why it is needed and what it takes for you to be seen, to be heard, which of course leads to you getting paid well, getting paid for what you do, and most importantly, making the impact in this world that you're meant to make. I've had the privilege of working with doctors and lawyers and nurses, Fortune 500 companies, as well as brand new startup companies, stay-at-home moms, people that you've heard of and people that you've never heard of, people that have been on the Oprah show, and people that have never gone any further than from their room, and businesses of all sorts. But what I can tell you is after 5,000 books that I've helped or been a part of, bestseller is great. It's something you want. It's something absolutely that should be part of your day one launch strategy. Day one is actually a misnomer. It should be the first couple of days. But bestseller is only the beginning. Bestseller is where you start. Now, don't get me wrong. Every time, even right up to this last one, the 41st that happened this last weekend, it always feels amazing. You feel kind of powerful. You feel even a little bit indestructible. Like, look at me. I did such amazing things, And it's real easy to fall into that trap, but it's not magic. It isn't something that if you hit that particular milestone that you somehow are magically visible in a way that you never were before. You have elements for it. You have, if you will, your superhero costume. Do any of you guys remember Super Grover? Even if your mommy makes you a superhero costume, you cannot fly because there is only one Super Grover, right? But you feel like I've got that Superman cape, and I just know if I want to, I could leap in the air and fly. And I want you to have and keep that feeling. But think of, even as I was thinking of flying, I think of the last Matrix movie, the redo one that they did. And I think of how, Neo, not too many spoilers here, but how Neo had forgotten how to fly. There's that song from INXS, we all have wings, we've just forgotten how to fly. And I think of that kind of a situation, and I'm like, here is somebody that has the answer, has the solution. In Neo's case, somebody that literally saved the world and changed the course of everything that was. And yet, after that, they have no ongoing momentum. They have nothing to continue on with it. So absolutely, I do want you to hit that bestseller status. But almost everybody that I've ever ran into, everybody that I've ever dealt with, they the next question becomes, hey, I became a bestseller, now what? It's very easy for it to be a huge letdown, for it to be something where you're like really, really excited, and then you feel totally deflated because the next day when you wake up in the morning, you still have all of the things, kids to deal with, work to do, client complaints, all of those kind of things, they still exist. But you also now have the credential. Okay, so let me put it to you this way. Hey, Andrea, glad to have you here with us. Think of you becoming a bestseller as like you went through the whole process and you graduated from medical school, all of that process and everything. And now, legally and officially, forever, you are Dr. You. By the way, you have a PhD in being you. You absolutely already are Dr. You. But in this particular case, you're a licensed legal medical doctor. You have the right to learn how to practice medicine. And that's the key point. Because when you walk across that stage, the last thing they give you is not a prescription pad and a pen and say, here, could you, prescribe medicine for these 20 people. They hand you a bill for all of your education. In most cases, with student loans and things like that, you get about a 6-month reprieve where you don't have to think about it quite then, and then it hits you. But that's when the whole concept of learning to really truly doctor happens. And life is like that. Schooling is great. Don't get me wrong. It's absolutely great. But there are a whole bunch of elements to living life that then have to come afterwards. Okay. So feel that power, but then have a marketing plan. Use that momentum. Use that credential. It should be something, every time somebody introduces you on stage, hey, this is, the best-selling author of the book on blah, blah, blah. Okay. All the way down to something as simple as, opt into my free thing that's based off of my best-selling book. See how much more the get my free thing versus get this thing from my best-selling book. You should have, like I do, and I've got a couple of them over here, but of course, this is my most recent one. You should have your books that you can be like, yeah, my best-selling book, and it should have a little logo on it that says that it's a bestseller. And let people know you're the best-selling author of the book on that thing. Because it's a credential. It is like the entrance pass into the greatest journey of your life. But if you've ever been to any amusement park, I don't care whether you're talking Six Flags, Magic Mountain, Disney, all of their, resorts, any of those kind of things. If you just go through the gates, and then you go over, like I think about Disneyland, because I've been there several times, and, we used to live in Southern California. If you go inside of the main gate, so I'm not talking about in downtown Disney, but you walk through all of downtown Disney, because downtown Disney is basically restaurants and places to buy stuff. Okay. But you go through those main gates and now you're in Disneyland, magical Disneyland. And maybe there's even some characters that are walking around and stuff like that. But over right off to the side, off to the left, just after you get inside of the main gates of Disneyland, there is a park bench. Part of it has to do with people like myself who have some mobility issues. By the time you get through the waiting line and in through the entrance and stuff, you're pretty worn, especially if you didn't come in from the Grand and you walked all the way across downtown Disney before you ever even got into the gates. I mean, it can be a very exhausting situation. So there's a place for you to sit there. There's also, by the way, just in case you didn't know, there's also a bathroom right around the corner there. Yes, I pretty well know where all the bathrooms are in downtown in Disney. Well, especially in downtown Disney, but that's a whole different story for another discussion. But you made it inside those gates. You're there, and okay, maybe you need to breathe, take a minute, all of that kind of stuff. But then after that, you got to get up and you got to go enjoy the park. You've got to go see the scenes, ride the rides, interact with the characters, walk around, do the things. Be careful of the people around you because they will run you over. All of those kind of things. Or you may as well have walked out of your bedroom in your house and gone and sat on the couch. If you're just going to sit there, you could sit on your couch and watch people, crowds of people. You could probably actually even find a camera that's right there at the entrance to Disney, and you could just watch the people walking in and out of Disneyland, and you could do that at home. You got to have a plan. These are the things we're going to do. These are the places we're going to go. If you, like I do, have mobility issues, you may want to plan out. I want to have a motor scooter. I want to have the capability that when I need to stop, I already have the capability to sit. Those kind of things are important. They really, really are. And the same is true in your business journey because I'm not saying you want to work 24/7 and kill yourself and go, 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 go. You need to have those times when you take naps, when you rest, when reevaluate what am I doing and how's it working. You need all of that kind of stuff as well. Absolutely, you do. But it's all based on a plan. You spark the momentum, and then you build the fire. I don't know if any of you have ever watched them make fire on Survivor, but the typical fire making starts from getting a spark, and the spark lights some highly combustible material. Different types of stuff that you can use, but highly combustible material. And that highly combustible material is going to burn really fast. From there, you've got to begin to build the sticks on it. You have to build it. You have to, lightly blow on it sometimes and give it a little bit of oxygen for it to live and breathe. You've got to do the same thing with everything that you've ever dreamt of with your book. All the things that can, should, would, and will be, they come from having a plan, from having an after. You get that credential, you do that thing, you make that impact that book absolutely is going to make. And then you have a plan for how am I going to find people that are going to read my book? How am I going to get people who will leave reviews? Because, people are going to look at and see what did other people have to say about the reviews? What did other people have to say about the book? And that's going to make a huge, huge impact. Giant, massive impact. And then you need to build and build and build from that. And again, as I talked about yesterday, you don't need to try to build this massive 10 billion person follower. I mean, there's only 8 billion people in the world, so that would be hard to do. You'd have to have some aliens from outer space. But I mean, seriously though, you don't need massive millions of people that are following every post you make. You need that one person, and then those 10, and then the 100, and you build it and you build it and you build it so that you can go live and you can see cool and exciting things. It's so easy to become a bestseller and then look around and be like, but now what? It's very easy, and I've done it far too many times with far too many people. You make a bestseller and you do nothing with it and nothing happens from it. And it can be one of the hugest letdowns ever. Most people stall because they have the plan for writing the book. They have the plan for how they're going to publish it, whether they go traditional, self-published, they use a hybrid publisher, what have you. They have that plan. They have a launch plan. They may even do pre-sale campaigns. I'm not going to recommend them, but they may even do pre-sale campaigns for as much as a year prior to when the book is really available. All of that kind of stuff. And they put it out there, and it's so exciting. But very, very few people have a plan for day 2, day 3, day 396. What are the things that you need to do ongoingly? I'm going to give you a hint. Reviews is the biggest piece of that. Having consistent, ongoing, perpetual reviews. And, if you'd like to talk more about what does my after look like, just drop the word after down in the comments. I mean, you can even drop the link to your book. I'd be glad to take a look at it and give you some ideas of some things that both you need to do now, as well as then what do you need to do after. Bestseller is it's a great beginning. It is absolutely a feeling that I want every single one of you to have. But I need you to also understand the launch is the spark. your visibility, ongoing, clear, consistent visibility that allows you to connect with the people that are your people. That's the fire. Launch is a spark. Visibility is the fire. And I want you to be blazing and making an impact and changing the world in the way that only you can. I'm excited for you. I see it for you. For those of you who, want to drop the word after and you want to talk more about that, absolutely. I'm here to help any way I can. We'll be back again tomorrow. We'll be talking more and more about your life, your visibility, and all the incredibly cool things that you are, can, and should do in this world. But until we're together again, then, I hope you're happy, safe, warm, and loved, and that you have